Hey, propaganda movie, right?
Yeah, it's better than Den of Thieves.
Fuck Den of Thieves, Jesus Christ. This is the movie we should have watched.
Yeah, it was, I want to get this out of the way before I say anything else about this movie. It's like, I have a huge amount of respect for the troops. I respect the discipline. I respect the hard work it takes. I would never do it personally. That being said, this is exactly what you think it's gonna be.
It's a propaganda movie.
Yeah, it's a propaganda movie. Surprisingly accurate propaganda movie from what I looked at.
Just remember, we have Donald Trump as president, but 9/11.
Why do you gotta... Donald Trump isn't even brought up in this movie.
I'm just saying.
He's not even a little.
Propaganda movie. Just remember.
Just,
however you feel about America, 9/11.
But propaganda existed before Trump.
Never mind.
I'm really confused by your point here.
My point is, however you feel about America, you should always honor the troops. In 9/11.
I mean, you don't have to.
That was the exact vibe that I got off the movie.
I mean, it's one of those like you don't have to agree with what they're fighting for, but show.
No,
respect.
I agree that in 7th grade, as a Californian watching the horrible thing that happened on September 11th, right? That we should probably go kill the people that did this.
Yeah,
and then just sort of be done with it. Apparently, we're still at it.
Not in the same way anymore. It was more like we kind of fucked ourselves over because we armed like a military troop that eventually became ISIS. And then we were fighting or still fighting ISIS. I don't know. I was actually wondering that. I was watching like are they still a threat? They kind of disappeared off the public radar. Most followed by what did Trump do now? Okay, now we're getting way too political.
There's nothing wrong with talking about politics, Mike.
It's more like I don't want to get the Republicans in here.
Anyway,
now watch. Not all Republicans are bad.
No. This is how we get subs.
What other political groups can I piss off right now?
Libertarians. Fuck those people.
Oh, let's get even more modern. Nazis. Nazis, those fellas, huh? They're pretty bad. Oh, no offense to neo-Nazis. You're the next generation. That's sarcasm, by the way. In case that doesn't read very well.
Oh. Just
bring the gas on the bridge, light the match. Watch it burn.
There's exactly one comment later that's gonna be like, I used to like this guy till he started making fun of my political affiliations.
And then I would say, fuck you, you're a Nazi. It's not a guy.
Downvote.
Oh, boo.
Nazi hater.
No, it's more like, you didn't like Superman and Batman vs. Superman, how dare you? That's the one I get more than anything else. I'm not kidding. I get a lot of hate comments from Superman defenders.
I mean...
And racist, but that's, I delete those comments.
I saw the last 30 minutes of that movie, and I was falling asleep. Albeit, I had a very large Philly cheesesteak.
You don't need excuse to fall asleep the first Batman.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't coming down from the carb load?
It's just an awful fucking movie.
Okay.
And I will fucking fight you if you try to defend that to me.
However, that's not the movie we're talking about. We're talking about 12 Strong.
It does involve Gods Among Men and Thor. Like, this is the case where, like, yeah.
The guy just got so much plot armor, like, every bullet just misses him.
I mean, to be fair, like, I'm not gonna lie, I was, like, doing the slower parts where I was looking up, like, true facts about the actual event. And I was like, apparently they got most of it right, surprisingly.
I mean...
with, like, some of the obvious Hollywood dramatizations.
Yeah.
And the whole chest, army, chest, bro.
Heart of a warrior.
Heart of a warrior. Hey, that guy was the best fucking part of the movie.
Yeah. He was like Ken Watanabe from, like, Last Samurai to me.
Okay, and, like, I will admit, in some ways, this movie did exceed my expectations, which, granted, were very, very low.
I was expecting a movie that was 53% because of Rotten Tomatoes, because this time I looked it up. Unlike Den of Thieves.
That was your own goddamn fault.
Yeah, I should have checked.
You picked the movie.
No, it's just like, obvious propaganda movie or heist movie. I like heist movies in the past. Oh, God.
Not this one. So this one,
So yeah,
because like the trailer makes it very much like they're gonna rape 9/11 every 5 minutes. To be fair, they don't. They kind of drop it after the second act starts.
they base as soon as they get into Afghanistan, they
Yeah,
just
it's like
they just sort of briefly. It's sort of a bigger picture issue.
Yeah,
It's
which like I kind of appreciated that because I thought it was gonna be like 9/11. Let's talk about this every
9/11. That's what I expected.
Somebody's gonna like take that clip and take it wildly out of context.
I'm ready. I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
Okay, it's on your head.
That's a fucking gift now. It's just like,
Like,
it's just 9/11. 9/11.
It's like if it's like if somebody ever did like a review in 5 seconds thing for our show,
Yeah, no.
that would be
This
for
is
this one. Just you in the car going 9/11, and that would be it.
It's like 12. Mike the comic book nerd. 12
Michael the
strong.
comic nerd, thank
yeah. Whatever. 12 strong review abridged. 9/11. No, but they don't. But they don't actually bring that up more than
You think they would? And to the point where
the beginning and the credits.
pretty much, it's
And like a really fast glaze over.
like it's more like they
So,
bring
like,
it up.
3 times.
They bring it up enough that you get it, and they don't overuse it, which I appreciated. I mean,
When he plants the World Tower tree.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I understand the actual symbolism.
that part didn't happen. I know, like he wasn't actually given a piece of the World Trade Center. That was made it for the movie.
Sure.
One thing that I did read that kind of made me laugh is
Because that was a lot of rubble. Like, they weren't done cleaning that shit up for, like, months.
yeah. Well, anyway, there is a part where the big climax of the movie takes place in what they call the Tungi Gap or something like that.
The very obvious choke point.
The very odd choke point. No, what kind of made me laugh is that I think like
The horse? The horse that
No.
just,
It's because again, I only know this because I looked it up, and apparently in real life, Tungi translates to gap. So basically, it's saying we needed to get to the gap.
Did you actually look up how it's spelled? Because I thought it was like Tian G.
Like
Whatever.
Whatever it is.
It's really whatever to me.
Like the basic point is it basically translates to gap, which kind of makes me laugh.
We gotta go to the Gap. Which Gap? The Gap.
Yeah.
Like the store? No, the actual Gap. Not no co dot.
Like yeah, I could be mispronouncing it, but it is Tiangi.
Kanji.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
That one. So yeah, the gap. We're gonna call it the gap because that makes me chuckle to myself.
I like calling it the obvious choke point because that's what it was.
That's too many syllables. Gap works just as fine.
I don't know. It's the OC to me. No, that's not right at all.
No, the OC was massively different and a relic of the late 90s we prefer not to talk about.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna get some old school fans of the OC going, why are they talking about that show in this review of all places?
I don't know. There was a cartoon montage of Alvin and the Chipmunks with the Chipettes or whatever.
That was the actual Alvin and the Chipmunks movie.
Oh, that was a movie?
Yeah. Actually, wasn't that bad from what I recall.
Okay, I don't remember that at all. Anyway,
that
so
was an actual
there's exactly one scene in the final battle that like made me grab for my nuts. And the thing is that I actually have ridden a horse because my family went to Yellowstone.
Oh, nice.
And the thing is that a saddle is, as expected, there's this, but there's also a part right in front of the saddle where, okay, so basically what happens is there's rocket explosions and gunfire and whatnot, and one guy gets flung forward off of his horse.
I'm assuming he's wearing a cup.
I don't know, but I'm hoping the actor was wearing a cup. But if that actually happened to somebody, basically what would happen physics-wise is that person's nuts would get smashed into the very front part of the saddle before the rest of his body flung off with the horse.
So he'd be an owie.
So,
That's what you're telling me.
So he would be out of breath and a soprano. No, it'd be like.
There's a battle cry for you. Should we talk about the best part of this movie, though? And I looked up the actor's name. while they're in Afghanistan,
Right.
Chris Hemsworth and his crew, which includes Michael Shannon, who is surprisingly toned down, which I'm not going to lie, that was probably my biggest disappointment of the film, because I'm a big Shannon fan.
Well, I mean, I feel like of the guys, like of the actors that they got to play him, he was the guy that's like, no, man, I'm too old to like go through military training. Just like give me a slip disc or something.
More like, I also feel like, even then, Michael Shannon, when he's still, like, just talking to people one-on-one, he's still, like, the most intense motherfucker in the room. Because it's like the guy says.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like, he's got killer eyes. And when he says that, he looks like this, like, a stone-cold fucking stare. It's like, yeah, he does. He's got total killer eyes. But anyway, while they get to Afghanistan, they meet up with this general.
Oh, yeah, who was the actor? Did we look him up?
I think it was... like General Dunham, I think his name was Dunham.
No, Dunham is the guy from Harmon Quest with the perfectly round head and the square body and no knees. This guy was General Dostum.
Thank you.
Who I think is the current vice president of Afghanistan.
That's what it said in the end credits.
No. It said he became vice president, but I don't
know if he is or not.
I don't watch enough BBC News because.
But either he is played by, as far as I know, an actual Middle Eastern person, which is very cool.
Nice.
His name is Navid. And I'm sorry if I'm butchering this. Navid
Oh man, you go back.
Nugaban. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Here, we can do this move. No, that doesn't work at all.
Really, well, you tried. Either way, easily most interesting character in the movie.
He definitely was
just plays as this
he basically
slightly unhinged hardcore general dude.
He's seen some shit.
Yeah, and he's not afraid.
They killed his family. He even straight up says it. It's like, they killed my family. And I was like, damn, dude.
And again, he's the most interesting part because he kind of has a rivalry with the main bad guy who doesn't really do much, but you could just see the fucking hate in Navi in that general's eye. It's like, I want to get this motherfucker.
No, they killed his.
He kills him.
Specifically, that guy Razan killed his family.
Yeah, no, that's exactly that. I love that. I like that little build up they had there. Like, I'm gonna get this motherfucker,
and he does. He does. It was completely worth. Regardless of how many of his men may or may not have died. If in his mind, if he was an angry little 12-year-old Xbox player, he might be saying to himself, worth.
I just somehow feel that's really derogatory.
The situation of his country is a very serious situation. I don't mean to make fun of it. However, he had a very satisfied look as he shot that in the head.
See, you're thinking that. My thought was Inigo Montoya from Princess Bride. So,
oh yeah, no,
which by far is one of the best revenge scenes ever put to film. You actually hear the story about that when the actor is talking about it?
I did not.
Because but while they were filming this movie, he actually lost his actual father to cancer.
Oh.
So it basically said when he filming that scene, he was just imagining getting revenge on cancer, basically, and that's why that scene is as hardcore and fucking dead-eyed as he is in that scene. It's so good. And he said most satisfying scenes I've ever shot in my life. That's basically what he said.
Little
factoid for you.
Little grief management.
Yeah, hey, whatever helps, man.
Right.
But no, he has the most interesting journey through this movie because honestly, I could give less of a fuck with most of the actual soldiers because they're all kind of cookie cutter persona, oorah kind of soldiers.
Yeah, they've got that soldier together mentality, and that's fine. But the real character, the real interactions is just between Chris Hemsworth, who was trying to hide his accent.
I was noticing that too. It was like, dude, just be British.
He is British, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because his wife is some sort of.
I'm sure the person in real life's American, but I was like, dude, you're not doing it. No one believes you.
He just dropped out of his accent at least 12 times the movie.
Yeah. But no, his scenes with the general do honestly carry majority of the movie. Because it's not with the other actor and the other soldiers, and Michael Pena. I have no problem with Michael Pena, but he is kind of just a dick in this.
To be fair, he had to buy a sheep to eat for $300.
Oh, he was a dick way before then.
Yeah, but
he was just a dick who had to pay $300 for a sheep at that moment.
Yeah, but I felt bad for him because his boss, his captain was like, hey, so I need some guy to do this western flank so that this mission has the highest probability of success. And he's like, well, I'll do it if it's an order. Well, it's an order. All right. I'm gonna go. I've got my Ziploc bag of American cash.
I got my van.
Got my van. Which I'm now wondering, like, is that guy?
You've seen Ant-Man, right?
I have. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
I've seen it twice. But my point is that sheep farmer is literally the richest man in his village now.
And how's currency transfer over? Because I'm assuming they don't use American currency.
Well, yeah, but that's why, you...
So $300 doesn't get you much if you can't use it to their currency.
Yeah, but that's a lot of bribe money for you to get the fuck out of Afghanistan.
Maybe.
Or at least into an American base.
Maybe. Questionable.
Whatever, that guy is set.
Skeptical.
I don't... Whatever, that guy is set in some American way.
Sure. All
Like,
right.
that guy, that sheep farmer, kept on to that $300 and then started, like, I don't know, goat cheese or something, sheep cheese business, and now he's doing fine. Very specific business of food, and he's doing fine. He got his investment. He's doing great. I'm gonna stop digging this hole.
It's like, do I need to point out the racism here, or
He was a literal sheep farmer.
But you just went straight to goat cheese.
Goat cheese is happening.
I'm sure it is.
It's trending,
But
man.
why does the Middle Eastern person only go for goat cheese?
Because that's right. What? Never mind.
No, finish it! I feel like Green Goblin, the first Spider-Man. Finish it! Finish it! Anywho.
Okay, look, I'm just saying that $300 might not exactly get him out of the country, but it would start a really nice
Okay.
food business of some kind.
I will say this, I did like how...
We're really talking a lot about the sheep farmer. He's fine.
Just more thinking, what other groups of people can we piss off tonight? I will say this does have, like... Honestly, this feels like a movie I'd watch with my dad, really, when I'm thinking about it.
Honestly, this is the kind of movie that, like I would watch with, like, that one guy that I hadn't talking to in, like, years. And he'd be like, oh, yeah, dude, it's so American. Look at them kill them Muslims.
Yeah, like, to be fair,
They are in Afghanistan immediately after 9/11, so I get it.
But at the same time, though, it's like it's not like they're just going after Muslim in general. Like, and all honesty, Muslims get kind of like a fair representation that they do get most of these movies.
There's that one Taliban representation, which I'm pretty sure is accurate, where they killed the woman for teaching girls how to read, math.
Like, I don't know about that, but I do. Like,
I believe the Taliban.
If anyone of that culture gets villainized, it's the Taliban.
Yeah, they're like their version of Nazis.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
Or-
maybe ISIS isn't getting a fair representation in the media right now. Let's hear their side. Then we get ISIS Trump.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know what? I'm okay with that. I like...
They're just like fighting on Twitter now.
Oh, God. That'd be a nightmare of so many proportions.
But he's like doing it in his language, and then like Trump's like, I can't read this.
Oh, God.
The sad
That I
thing
can
is,
actually see.
the sad thing is that would totally happen. My advisor told me this is an insult. Fuck you.
I'm just gonna send it anyway. Fuck you. But no, what was I gonna say? But like, no, you do have the general, and you do like he kind of explains the politics of the area, and like other people have a chance to talk to, and they kind of share like their perspectives of the culture.
And I thought that one kid was totally gonna die, but then he didn't.
Yeah, what? Because to be fair, if anyone was gonna die, it was gonna be that kid.
No, it wasn't that kid. It was the other kid.
Yeah, the other kid that was like in for like a second.
He didn't even get a name tag
or a line.
He just did like a simple salute, and you knew he was dead. I should have held out for that kid.
What's done is done. What's done. But no, like I
get
do.
the cop from Die Hard. Be like, no, not that kid. That kid. He's gonna die.
But no, I did like how they actually talk more about the Muslim culture or the Middle Eastern culture, not just Muslim culture, but just the Middle Eastern politics of the time.
Yeah, well,
and I think that was for one of these movies, I feel like that was fairly represented. I kind of like Lone Survivor, which is actually a pretty decent war movie. Where at the end, like, spoiler, there's a lone survivor. And double spoiler, he's the only one that's on the poster.
Oh man.
Fuck. And he's basically saved by a nearby Middle Eastern village who fends off the Taliban for him, basically.
Oh, that's convenient.
It's what actually happened.
Well, I mean, like, sure.
No, again, it's one of those based on true story, and I did my fact checking on that one, and that did actually happen.
All right.
Yeah,
whatever. I mean, I don't usually go out of my way to watch true story inspired movies.
Yeah, you kind of always had to take it with a grain of salt. But for one of these movies, it's fine. Like I didn't hate it.
It's better than Den of Thieves.
It's, to be fair, yeah, everyone's like, well, it could be worse.
Yeah, we literally saw it last week. It could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been worse. It's no Paddington 2.
There were.
Oh my God, Paddington Goes to War. That's a movie I want to see.
No one would fire shots anymore.
Exactly. You get them all marmalade sandwiches, and they just sit around eating and telling jokes.
Or a food fight, and then they all get the hard stare, and it's like, why are you wasting food, motherfucker?
Damn, Paddington got hardcore in the
it's boot camp.
In the third movie.
It's boot camp. He's just like emulating what he's listening to.
Paddington, let me see your war face. You don't scare me. Show me a real world face. Here, eat this sandwich, but work on it.
Oh my God. The worst part is I can see it. Okay. Yeah, so, I mean...
From now on, your Private Snowball. Do you like that name?
Jesus.
I'm just quoting Full Metal Jacket at this point.
How tall are you? 2 feet? That's 2 feet of shit I've seen.
Holy shit, no, I stack shit that high.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Actually, no, he's like, what, 3 feet?
Just Paddington doing a little jog around. Eskimo pussy is mighty cold.
Anyway, was there anything else about 12 Stories? The one horse that, like...
Oh, yeah.
There was, like... Okay, so Chris Hemsworth just gets knocked off of his horse, right? And then there's that whole thing where it's all, like... Gross.
Deal with it.
There's that whole thing where it's, like, silent or whatever. He gets up and starts shooting people. And his horse just, like... It's like they
spurts up like, ready to go, motherfucker, yeah!
America!
Hey, America, let's fucking do it!
Like, even though, like, this movie was, like, so American, even the horse in Afghanistan was like, America, let's do it!
That's what I want out of Michael Shannon, really. That's what I was hoping for.
You're hoping for Michael Shannon?
Whenever I see Shannon something, I hope he yells at least once. That's my goal for every Shannon movie. Because I would love it if, like, because he gets badly wounded, I would love it. And it's like, he just spurts up like, motherfucker, let's kill some things! Ah!
Yeah, no, like, the horse, like, as it fell down, it accidentally, like, landed on, like, an adrenaline shot, and just like, woo!
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking of that scene from Creed, when Michael B. Jordan gets knocked down.
Yeah, and he just, like,
and like,
whoop!
And he like thinks everything happened. Then he thinks of his dad, and all of a sudden he's like dun 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 dun, and he just shoots right back up. That's what I was imagining this horse was doing.
Yeah.
As it stands back here, dun 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 dun.
Yeah, because I remember because it's like his he got like knocked out and he even like did like the little body twirl midair.
Yeah. So that's what I was thinking.
This is the Rocky. It's the Creed horse now.
It's the Creed horse.
Apollo Creed horse.
I am a Creed.
I'm hanging out with Thor. I gotta be as intense as he is.
I know. I'm just thinking of Creed the musical.
Oh no.
That's a real video.
Uh,
Apollo, you killed my father. Apollo, you, like, no, Drago. That's a Drago. You killed Apollo. Drago, you killed my father. Make me proud, son. Make me proud, son. 2 or 3 rounds at the most. So we're projecting a lot on this fucking horse.
I mean, there really wasn't like that much just substance in the movie.
I mean,
a lot
like,
of it was just
outside of, like,
shooting.
Outside of the general, like who probably had the most out of the movie, which isn't the much, but it's still like, okay, I got something I can get legitimately invested in.
Yeah, there's like one person who spoke clearly.
Yeah.
And projected his voice to the microphone, and everybody else just sort of was like, fucking piece of clip or some shit like that.
And like, and the war scenes are well shot. Like the actual action sequences are well shot.
Like it's like there's the bonding scene in the helicopter, and it's
Yeah, I can
like
understand what the
they're
fuck they're
totally bonding, but I have no idea what the fuck you're saying. How come they don't get subtitles?
Or you get into like that one YouTube video from years ago. You remember that one?
But it's just like there's a clear need for a lot of subtitles. Like if this came out on DVD, I would watch it with subtitles on because like
on Netflix
or Netflix or whatever. I just don't understand what they're even saying in English or Russian. Okay, you know what? Thanks for telling me what they're saying in Arabic or whatever. But like I don't.
No, they explain what he said in Russian.
What?
They said what he said in Russian.
Like 3 times? But they definitely go back to the Russian.
Yeah, well, like, that shit didn't really bother me too much. Like, at that point, like, I didn't really care much about the soldiers, so, like, that, I didn't really care about what they were saying, because I'm sure it's some kind of bro talk that you see in all these war movies. So
Bro talk.
Bro talk's like, whatever, it's one of those things, doesn't really bother me all that much. But yeah, like, no, as far as the actual action sequences are, they're well shot, they're well executed. I think there's no shaky cam, which I appreciate.
Yeah, thank fucking
It's
God.
clear shots, I can tell what's happening, which for a modern day war movie is a nice change of fucking pace. So like there were some parts I was legitimately getting to the action sequences. It's like, okay, it's well shot, it's fun, like it's intense, it's fun to
Yeah,
watch.
it's fine. It's just like I just wish like if you're trying to convey something to me besides the chaos of war, maybe you should like be able to clearly convey what you're saying to me.
But it's like it's clearly not trying to be anything super deep. It's there to fill a niche. This is a movie that knows what its audience is.
9/11.
It knows who this is made for. It's made for people like my dad, who I know would like this movie. People who just want a kind of generic so-so war movie, and that's what this is. And that's what you're looking for. You'll be entertained fine. So like I'm not mad that I saw it. I'll just never watch it again.
More so than Den of Thieves. Just
yeah, that one I'm so mad I saw.
Just so much better than Den of Thieves.
Most of the trailers are stuff we got before, so I don't really feel a need to talk about them all that much. Yeah, we've got like. Have you seen the trailer for 1517 to Paris?
I don't even know what event that's talking.
You don't remember that from a few years ago?
What was that even about?
That was like the guy who
Was that the Paris train thing?
Yeah. The guy, like, the guy tried to shoot a train, and then, like, 3 people from the military stopped him. So that was, like, a couple years ago.
I don't remember that.
Wait,
no. What was that thing with the, was that the same time as the Paris bombings?
It may have been around that same time.
Just, it's all chaos, be kind. Fuck, dude.
I just know the fact that the big for on this is a Clint Eastwood film. You want to talk about a racist motherfucker who makes these war movies?
Yeah, that was like my only problem with that trailer is that they kind of deliberately showed the face of.
Now, to be fair, I don't know the face of the actual attacker.
He was clearly very brown.
That's one thing. Like, look it up. I don't know. Like, I'm talking about the real life version.
Oh, for sure.
Because that's the case. Like, I'd want to know that before I make a judgment call rather than how racist that is. I know I saw American Sniper, which is racist as fuck. Because that one had Bradley Cooper straight up calling the Middle Eastern people savages.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 times. And the fact, another case of, like, at least in this movie, they were like, the Middle Eastern people were trying, like, they can be working with Americans and all that stuff. And that one, there's only one that actually does, and it turns out he's secretly working for the bad guys.
Huh.
And he's the only one that gets any sympathy in the movie that doesn't outright horrifically die.
Man, that one kid in 12 Strong, he got, like, candy for days. He
earned those fucking Skittles, man.
Okay, to be fair, taking an American air job to the face, basically.
Yeah.
And surviving that.
He earned those goddamn Skittles. He earned those goddamn Skittles.
You can have those Skittles.
You can taste the rainbow.
Good, because all I can taste is my blood. Oh.
That's cherry, just like... and then we got I do want to talk about the Tomb Raider trailer, because I didn't notice something about that I realized, like... That maybe what's bothering me about that reboot, because I played the rebooted games. I really like the rebooted games. I think they're really, really good. My problem is the way it's shot in the trailer, and I could be wrong, but it's looking very action hero-y, and that's really not the games. Like, when, like, the whole boat is sinking, that happens in the game, but he shows, like, the whole, like, confident running forward and leaping action. And the game, especially the first one, really comes down to 3 different scenarios on a regular basis, which is shit, ow, and whoops. So she's doing, like, this confident run, like, do, and then the game was like, fuck!
All right. I think I see what you mean, and we're also running out of battery.
Okay, yeah, so I'll wrap this up. This is why it helps to have a lower battery sometimes. So, yeah, 12 Strong, do you recommend it?
I guess if you like the actors.
Yeah, like, if you're just looking for, like, a standard war movie, this will get your fix.
The only thing I would do, like, as, like, a party thing is, like, take all the moments where they did have subtitles and then just, like, kind of mad lib over them.
Yeah,
just like one point where it's like, oh, he's charging in, let's follow him. And, like, I would change that to be like, he's going to the point, get on the point.
Yeah, we just start making Overwatch quotes towards the end of this.
Jokes. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Yep. So that's it. I think I got Winchester later this week, and I don't know if I'll get to Maze Runner or not. We'll see.
I don't do horror, man. You know me.
Maybe me and Grant will take care of that one.
Well, you gotta do Phantom Thread.
Well, that's here, and he wants to go to Great Mall, and that's not playing at Great Mall. So.
Oh, what's wrong with going to Great Mall?
Great Mall's closer to him.
Oh no, yeah. It's not.
It is now. Remember, he's working nowadays.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see what we see on a Wednesday. So thank you guys for watching. See you later.
All right, bye.